That's how his brain works. It's
Good
amazing.
job, buddy.
Well, you were
We feel that way. We feel
locked
that way sometimes
A little
too.
vapor lock.
Yeah.
What
For
For
happens?
sure. That's okay.
How's
Nothing.
summer vacation going?
good.
Good.
Look at you sporting the attire for the
Yeah.
occasion.
Incredible Broly.
Yeah,
War for them. Yeah.
the great apes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great ape.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotcha.
Hey.
I gotcha.
He got it. He got it.
I'm too mindless now. I looked at the moon.
Yeah.
Now I'm mad.
Well, welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we'll be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Broly from 2018. Dragon Ball Super Broly is a martial arts action fantasy anime
Yes.
directed by Tatsuya Nagamine and written by Akira Toriyama, based on Dragon Ball by Akira Toriyama and produced by Toei Animation. We'd also like to say rest in peace, Akira Toriyama, who unfortunately has passed away within the last year, creator of Dragon Ball, and affected many, many people's lives. So,
Yep.
R.I.P.
It's a
R.I.P.
big deal in Japan.
I know.
It's a big
I am way out of the loop on all that. I am
Same, brother.
on the other side of
Same.
the planet,
Yeah.
man.
I'm not going to lie. I watched it and I'm like,
I had no idea what was going on.
We'll just take it all for granted that we know
Yeah.
what we're talking about. This is what we're
You
doing.
two are the experts in this.
yeah.
Good Lord.
What do you think,
That
Logan?
doesn't take much.
You be an expert?
Logan and Chill.
I think
Yeah.
Logan would be way more of an expert than me at Dragon Ball. That's
Probably.
for sure. And
He
then
knows
you're-
quite a bit.
I think you're well beyond that.
Well, I was going to say you guys could either watch the 153 episodes of Dragon Ball, the 291 episodes of Dragon Ball Z, or you could watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, which shortens everything, cuts out the filler, which is 167 episodes, and then follow that up with Dragon Ball Super, which is 131 episodes currently.
I will get right
Why didn't they
on
do?
this.
So-
Why didn't they do a Kai with One Piece?
I don't know, they should do a Kai with One Piece, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
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 Instead, we're on episode 210.
You guys stalled out?
No, it's just we're catching up because we've got a lot of shows that we're watching together, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, as you can tell, we're joined by David and Lee today. How
What's
are you boys
up?
doing?
I'm great. How are you?
And me.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. And I also wanted to introduce one of the coolest people I've ever met. You might have seen him in the play Peter Pan Jr. as one of the pirates, or also in his upcoming role in SpongeBob SquarePants Jr. as a sea creature, and he's in the Angry Mob.
You got
So-
2 roles?
And the angry mob is for Sandy.
Awesome.
So,
That is awesome.
welcome to the show, Logan.
Well on his way.
What's up?
What's up? So, have you guys watched anything new this week? Logan, have you watched anything new this week?
Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8?
Number 8.
Yeah? Are we liking that show?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? That's also on Crunchyroll.
That is a subscription that I have yet to subscribe to.
You
Yeah.
might want to check your boys.
They have not. No.
That's surprising.
Neither one of them are anime watchers.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Nothing.
So Chelsea and I are kind of going through and picking which ones we can get rid of because we're not watching as much TV right now.
Yeah.
And it was her part of like, yeah, we just can't get rid of Crunchyroll. Like that's the one that has to stay in our family.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we have.
I mean, I can
yeah,
see that with you for sure.
for sure.
I just added stars
Why
to
didn't
mine. Are
you-
you kidding
Yeah.
me? I'm not.
Why
Because
didn't
you
do
wanted
the
to watch
same with
Jaws?
One Piece
Yeah.
Odyssey.
I just
Yeah.
rented it for $3.99.
Well, I mean, I got online through the TV. It was like
Why didn't you
$60
do the
for
same
the.
with One Piece?
It was like
Whole year.
for the whole year, right?
Right.
But then I got online, and it was $19.99 for 6 months.
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Why? Okay, well, I'll just sign up for that one." So I
Right.
signed up for that one.
Nice.
I got you.
But-
I just rented Jaws.
But so, I was surprised by the movies that Stars had. I was
It's-
pleasantly. Yeah,
it's not
they
bad.
have
Yeah.
a good selection.
Cool. Have you guys watched anything new this week?
I started Dark Matter
Oh,
on
yeah?
Apple TV. I'm just 2 episodes in, but I already love it.
Yeah.
I just
I wanna
don't
start that.
feel like they make bad stuff. Everything is.
Oh.
I finished season 2 of Big Prize Box.
Awesome.
And it was really good. I like where they're going with it. It's kind of a darker not dark comedy. It's just a little dark comedy. Like
Yeah.
there's
We watched.
a
and
hint of it.
I don't know. It's Maya Rudolph, but Loot on Apple TV.
Yes, I haven't
It's
watched it yet. Is it good?
surprisingly addictive and like a guilty pleasure because it's like it's mindless,
Yeah.
but it's it's Maya Rudolph
Yeah.
and it's in her wheelhouse. Like she's killing
Yeah,
it.
I love her.
Like this is where that whole Maya Mama
Right.
is coming from. And
Apple TV is really good at having like a solid mix of like mindless, like funny stuff
yeah,
to funny, deeper stuff like Ted Lasso that makes you
Yeah.
think about everything.
Yeah.
To like amazing sci-fi stuff.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and then drama, as well.
Dramas, yeah, they're just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really put their money like to good use.
Yeah.
That's good.
Instead of just
Yeah.
let's make this, and no one ever sees it.
Right.
So Dark Matter, it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Good.
I
And
watched
Jennifer Connelly. I mean,
Oh yeah. That's
God
telling you,
bless
man.
her. That was my
Yeah.
my
okay.
grown up crush.
She's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate her.
Labyrinth. I loved her in Labyrinth.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I watched Bike Riders this weekend.
Oh,
with,
nice.
my dad and Annie.
Cool.
It was different, but it was good. More of a drama than anything else. Didn't have a whole lot of action in it, but
Yeah.
I liked it. It looked decent when for the previews, but I thought it was gonna be something else. But it was good. And then we're keeping up with House of Dragons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I need to get completely caught up on that. I know I watched season 1 of Game of Thrones, and that's about it.
Yeah.
It's daunting
It's-
because it is
it's a
a
lot.
grueling march to the
I think
end.
that it probably would be a good watch it once a week.
Yeah.
Because it's so much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much.
So I actually heard that people that started watching Game of Thrones and they watched all the way through and kind of like a binge watch instead of
Week by week.
keeping up
Liked
with
it better.
liked it a lot better, especially with the ending. So
Well, I can understand that because there was 2-year gaps
Oh,
between
yeah.
seasons.
it was insane.
And-
Yeah, it's really hard to keep
and
up
I'm
on
like,
that. I mean,
come on, how do you keep interest?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Tough.
they
But it
did
was good, man.
You know.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I know everybody hated the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I liked it. I didn't think it was terrible.
This is the argument with Lost too. Like
Yeah.
everyone hated Lost, and I found this guy on TikTok that explains everything, and I'm like, that's what I've been saying for
Right.
10 years.
We watched The Fall Guy, which I didn't know if I'd like it because I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's based on a show. It's just another remake," and I did not get like remake vibes at all.
it doesn't
I thought-
look
It doesn't
remake
even
vibes.
look
Yeah.
remake. Yeah.
No. I feel like if they could have called it anything else and they would have been just fine, probably if not more successful, just because, I mean, I know it bombed in the box office, but I had a great time with that movie.
Yeah.
There is so many little things and there's like a lot of setup through the background. And if you're like a lover of films, then this movie is made for you. Same with like stunt coordinators and stuff like that. This is like a love letter,
yeah.
especially to them. And I thought it was great. We had a great
I'll have
time
to
watching
check
it.
it
And
out.
also, they didn't use any CGI.
Well, they used some CGI, but yeah, they used a lot of them were real people, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty cool. So, Logan, why did you pick Dragon Ball Broly?
Because it was the first Dragon Ball movie I watched. This is my favorite one.
So the first time you watched it, were you confused as well?
No.
Oh,
Did
I
you
didn't
watch,
know who
did you
anyone
watch
was.
enough
So
Dragon Ball with your dad to know
Yes.
what was going on? So this was
Yeah.
just your first Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
oh, so
Right.
you'd seen the show? Got it.
I
Okay.
gotcha.
I didn't just throw them in the
In the
You,
pool,
you
like
like
you
you did
did
us.
us.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
At least I knew, the layout of the pool.
Yeah.
David didn't know anything.
No anything.
Nothing.
He just got
Right.
to the pool and was like, "Oh, it's a pool. I guess
Here
I'm
we
getting
go.
in."
Here we are.
How deep is it? No one
No
knows.
one knows. Rather
It's
deep.
pretty deep.
Very
I
much
figured
so.
that out really quick.
It's rather
Right.
deep and shallow at the same time.
right. It's just a really big pond.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
The first time I watched this, I'd actually been tracking the movie, and I was more than beyond thrilled they were making a Dragon Ball Super movie because the anime at that time had finished.
Can I
Of course,
ask
we're
you
calling it
what makes it super?
now. What makes it super is just the next iteration of Dragon Ball, like the next chapter. So you have the first one being Dragon Ball. Okay.
Here we go.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea. So
No, I've gotten
Yeah.
to hear this.
No,
in
I'm
a
ready.
conversation
Okay.
with Calvin, and
okay.
it's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So, Dragon Ball, and correct me if I'm wrong, Logan, Dragon Ball takes place with Goku as a kid, and it's more of a fantasy adventure where they're going around and they're collecting all of these Dragon Balls, because when you collect all of the Dragon Balls, you get a wish.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
The Infinity
That part,
Stones.
that part I
Except-
did understand.
Except in Superhero where...
That one, yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with Dragon Balls, does it?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
With the balls.
Yep, we'll get to that.
It's a tangent.
Correct him.
So then it turns into like a straight up shonen towards the end, which is like a fighting style anime.
Okay.
You transition to where who's the next foe, and that's just kind of where it's taken off from then. So then Dragon Ball Z explores like Goku's past, okay? Because at the time it's just this kid just has incredible powers and he has a tail, and then Z explores his past and then expands on the world like
Okay.
the rest of the world and like the universe. Okay.
Okay.
Super expands beyond that to where we're now with like angels and there's alternate universes and all of these other things going on at the same time. So
Okay.
it's
And they were Universe 7.
yep, that's right.
Yeah, you're number 7.
Okay. So like all like parallel universes.
There's parallel
Multiverse.
universes.
Multiverse. Okay.
Yeah, they were doing
And so
multiverse.
what was it? Marvel. Was it Marvel that had like a big?
Cinematic universe.
Yeah, no, but they called it something.
The
like,
multiverse.
just the
Yeah.
multiverse.
No.
Yeah.
What one were in?
Multiverse of Madden?
There was a name.
616.
616.
Yeah, 616. Yeah.
And that's the comic book universe for the comics. And then
Sure.
there's actually a debate among a lot of hardcore Marvel fans where it's somebody jokingly said that it's like universe 19999999999 is a cinematic one. And then Kevin Feige was like 616. Okay.
Can you imagine having that power and just being like 616?
Yeah. It's the same as the
But
comics.
so back to Dragon Ball. We're in
So-
Universe 7.
They're in universe 7.
Have
okay?
we been to Universe 1 in Dragon Ball?
So we've actually fought where Broly picks off from is that they just ended the Tournament of Power arc where Zeno, the god of the Dragon Ball multiverse, got all of these universes together and was like, hey, the last team to survive this, your universe survives because I have too many universes. Literally, they got the 10 strongest fighters from every universe and then they threw them in this like arena, basically like a Fortnite. What is that called?
You got me. I don't play
Like,
Fortnite.
well, Fortnite and
Seasons?
PUBG and all
Yeah,
that other
okay.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
it's
yeah.
an arena.
It's
Yeah.
an arena.
It's a-
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
the last person standing from whatever universe they're from survives.
Okay.
And that universe survived. So we just went through that arc, and that's where this
And
picks
the
up
way
And who
to
won
get
that?
and the way to
I
get
wonder.
them
Goku?
out.
Actually, not. Yeah. Spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody that wants to kind of get into it. But
And the way
Yeah.
to get them out of the
Wow.
tournament is they have to push them off the edge. Yep.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
It's deep.
First time I watched this was in the theaters. Like I said, I've been waiting for it for
course.
forever, and it was a great time. I went and saw it in IMAX, and great time. Icebreaker question this week is, what was your favorite cartoon or animated show when you were growing up?
Oh, man. There's lots to pick from.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you my top 3 right off the bat.
I'm just kidding. Mine was the real Ghostbusters.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when I was
They-
little,
One
it was the
second.
real Ghostbusters, and then I think it moved to Batman animated series.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
I was in high school when that came out, so
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I'm gonna say Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
Yeah.
They remember the sass anime movie,
What's that?
Grip of the Fireflies.
Yeah, I
We
know.
all remember that movie.
all remember
will
that.
never
It was-
forget that movie.
It
Yeah.
was very painful.
Yeah. So mine was Dragon Ball
Okay.
Z. I remember going over to my buddy Fernando's house, and we would watch that, and then it was on every day at like 4:30 on Toonami, and you'd watch Dragon Ball at 4, and then Dragon Ball Z at 4:30.
So I
That's
think
how,
that this is the age gap between
you
us.
kids
You know what I
with
mean?
your Toonami and your Cartoon Network and your
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
We didn't have
I
any of
had
that.
ABC on Saturday
and you had to get up early.
Early.
and maybe some CBS.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, NBC would have something decent, but usually ABC and CBS.
Right.
And then after school, man, it was slim pickings. It was
Yeah.
like Scooby Doo,
Yep.
Super Friends.
See, mine was
You
the
might get lucky and get some Thundercats.
Yeah.
mine was the Nickelodeon shows. You know, like the Salute Your Shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was what I was watching after school. Or
What was that game show they had?
it was the Temple one, right?
No, mine was
Legends
the
of
Oh,
the Hidden Temple.
Double
was
Dare?
great.
Double Dare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Double Dare. I watched all that stuff, but then in middle school, just hanging out with my buddy Kyle, we'd always watch Power Rangers. Like I
Oh,
was,
dude,
I was
yeah.
never into Power Rangers, but
Yeah.
like
I couldn't do it.
it was season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the Black Ranger showed up, I was like, oh,
Oh, the
but
green
that-
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the green one.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure.
The Dragon
And then the
Zord.
white one showed up, and
Oh,
all hell broke
dude.
loose.
Woo-wee.
That's my extent of knowledge of Power Rangers. That's it.
I know there's like 18 iterations of that
Oh, it's
team.
insane.
I will say I like the movie though.
Ivan Ooze.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just completely different than
I
the
haven't
show.
even
I liked
seen
it.
the movie.
It reminded me of like if you took HR Puff and stuff or the Great Space Coaster and turned it into a karate show.
Right. Oh yeah. I can't do HR Puffins. I can't.
I
Yeah.
can't do Great Space
Sid
Coaster.
and Marty Croft is to me on the lines of the most terrifying TV ever made.
Right?
It's nightmare fuel.
It is.
I hate it.
And we're so old, no one will know what we're talking about.
No. No.
Not for this review, not for the people watching this one, I'll tell you
No.
what. What I'm trying to get at with this question is that this was my thing, and then they've continued it on and on and on. I've just been keeping up, and then it's one of those where it's like, now my son's watching it, and it's like, this is one of the special to me
Gotcha.
kind of things.
It's
So,
nice that
Mine's
you're
Star
careful.
Wars.
yeah.
My
Now
boys
they're
love
coming
Star Wars,
out
so.
with Daima.
And
What's that?
Coming out with a new show,
What's it called?
Daima.
And do you know what it's about?
What's Dragon Ball Daima about?
He literally
I
froze. He
don't
just froze,
know.
and I love it so much.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Do you know?
Take your time. He knows it.
People that wish that every single person there turned into kids.
Yep. So Goku and Vegeta and all of them turn into kids. So
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be a little bit more kid oriented, and
Yeah.
then they also talked about
Trying to capture that new generation.
yeah, introducing magic. So
Oh, okay.
Magic.
so
Superman's in trouble.
I think like the first couple episodes are gonna be really good, since Akira Toriyama made them.
yeah.
But now
Before he
since
died.
Oh,
Akira
yeah.
Toriyama's dead, the rest is not gonna
The
be that
old
good.
Gene Roddenberry effect.
Yeah.
He started the next generation, and then
Ooh.
And then it declined. I hate to tell you.
I don't know. I disagree with that. I like all the shows.
I'm.
Deep Space Nine was my least favorite out of all of them.
I didn't like Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
Oh, I love Voyager.
How do you get lost on the first day?
I love Voyager. Well, they're not very bright. All right, they're using technology they weren't familiar with.
Yeah, well.
Logan
All right,
would
no
Logan
tangent on Star Trek.
that again. Logan wouldn't watch Strange New Worlds with me, would you? No, you didn't,
didn't
like
like
it.
it?
You didn't like
Too
it.
smooth the animation for you.
Yeah.
A little more choppy. Need something
So-
to do with them eyes.
So let's get a little bit into the movie before we get into spoiler.
Sweet.
Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Super
There
Broly.
it was.
Yeah.
That was a stroke this episode.
Well, no, that's the other movie is called Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
Yeah.
So this one has a runtime.
Thankful.
Dragon Ball Super Broly has a runtime of 100 minutes. Premiered in Japan December. Premiered in Japan December 14th, 2018, and had a U.S. release date of January 16th, 2019. It had a budget of $8.5 million, and it grossed over $115 million. So I was talking earlier, too, about in Japan, whenever they put up the sales for, like the pre-sales for the movie,
Yeah.
it had sold out for the first weekend 5 months before the movie came out.
I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
It is
insane.
impressive.
So...
5 months before it
Yeah.
sold out the entire weekend.
And I could only find the top box office for the U.S. For January of 2019. And number one being Aquaman, Glass, The Upside, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Mary Poppins Returns, Bumblebee, Escape Room, The Mule, A Dog's Way Home, and at number 10, Dragon Ball Super Broly.
That's pretty sleepy cast there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
You got like one or two good ones. That's
Yeah.
pretty
So-
slim pickings. But I guess we were just getting ready to kick off the next year, the
Yeah.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was that year. It was 2019, January of 2019. So,
But Dragon Ball is just like Star Trek, I think, where
Yeah.
it has just
You could put anything out and people are going to go see it.
right,
Yeah.
but also it just has the people that like it.
yeah.
Right.
That's it. Those are the people going to see it. You're not going to get a new fan from this movie.
Yeah.
This is like for the fans, you know?
Daddy,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
remember when we went to the theater for Superhero and we were the only people there?
That's right. We went on opening weekend.
That's
and,
fun.
and we were the only people there. But we had a good time, didn't we?
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
You can talk in the movies, all sorts of stuff when
Right.
no one
Yeah.
else is there.
So when Akira Toriyama began to write Dragon Ball Super in 2015, he was reluctant about adding the character Broly to the franchise. Broly has been in non-canon movies, okay,
Okay.
going into this.
Why?
Because he's too powerful.
Yeah.
I didn't say Broly was like my favorite character in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
so,
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
He's the one guy that says.
But why why not canon? Like, who's making Dragon Ball stuff that's not canon?
So if it's not by Akira Toriyama or if it's not in the show, then technically it's not canon. So, like, for example, I was going to put this down for later, but
Okay.
as of recording of this episode, there are 24 films based on the Dragon Ball franchise. 21 of them are animated, and only 2 of them are canon, and that being Dragon Ball Super Broly and then the newest one, Dragon Ball Super Superhero. And those span across from Dragon Ball the original all the way through Z, all the way through.
I guess my question is who makes not
stuff.
right?
Like Dragon Ball as a franchise and Toei Animation will like license out. Like, hey, could you make a movie for us? And they're like, yeah, we'll make a Dragon Ball movie for you, but it's not going to take place. Like its effect does not take place within the story. So it's just an
Universe 9.
alternate. Yeah,
It's all one-offs.
all one-offs. Exactly.
Interesting. I don't know if I think that's strange.
It is
It's very
strange.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
for
would be
example,
very confusing on what to keep
What's
straight.
canon, what's not.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's also to prevent that effect too of like, okay, I just finished like the Cell arc in Dragon Ball Z. Now I gotta go.
I love the Cell arc.
I know we both do, baby. so now I gotta go watch, Cooler Resurrected or whatever.
I love Cooler too.
I do too, baby. It's awesome.
I love that guy.
Anyway, he was reluctant to add Broly to the franchise and instead wrote a character named Kale, who is a Saiyan and as a homage to Broly, and Kale is a character from another universe in the Tournament of Power. So, however, one of the series producers early in 2017 convinced him to add Broly into the series, so he wrote a brand new story for Broly and drew a brand new design, so this version could be different from the original films.
Okay.
I gotcha.
Toei Animation decided for this film to use traditional methods like drawing most of the film by hand, but also still slightly using some CGI in it, which you could kind of tell with some of the movements are a little bit
Maybe.
more fluid.
I guess I didn't
Yeah.
notice, but
Yeah. You'd have to really kind of...
I noticed some CGI in this one quite
Yeah.
a bit. Well, all the spaceships
Yeah.
were all CGI.
Yeah. So this is the third film in the Dragon Ball franchise to be released on IMAX.
You don't remember the spaceships, do you?
no, I do remember the spaceships.
At the beginning?
Yes, they crashed into the tower, and he said, "You gotta watch where you're driving." That, yeah,
Right.
I know. I think maybe I just did a lot of
Whoop. Yeah.
this watching the show.
Yeah. So this was the third Dragon Ball film to be released on IMAX, the two previous being Dragon Ball Z Battle for the Gods and Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F.
I think it would be overwhelming to watch this on an IMAX
It would be
because
a
it
lot.
is hard to see what's happening most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because each fight scene is like it's frame,
fast.
frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's super. I mean, I know that's how anime is like filmed, but it's like you're reading the comic book really fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no smooth movement really. It's all very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thing to add about the movie before we get into spoiler?
I don't have anything to add. I mean, this
think
movie
that-
is what it is.
Yeah.
It is. I definitely think that you should have some knowledge of Dragon Ball
Right.
before you watch it at all.
Just a
because
frame.
now. So I couldn't even tell you right now. What's his name?
Goku.
Goku. I want to say Grogu so bad.
Right.
Goku, right? I know that character because of
Culture.
yeah.
Yeah.
I see him all over
Right.
But I have no idea what his backstory was.
Right.
I knew he got on fire. I don't know what it's called,
Right, yeah.
But like I knew that happened. I didn't know there were like 18 levels of that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I kept going like,
Whoa.
there were so many of them,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have anything to add besides it's
Wow.
very anime and very
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So would you recommend people watch this? And if you did recommend, who would you recommend watch this?
I'd say anybody from the age of about 6 to, I don't know, whenever you get tired of it.
Yeah.
If you like anime, I guess it's great. I hate to say it, but it's just not for me.
That's fine.
And I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
I think that I would have appreciated it more if I would have had any kind of backstory.
Right.
Like, I didn't even know who anyone was at the beginning, so
Yeah.
I was very confused. So the answer is I would recommend it to Dragon Ball Z fans.
Yeah.
Right.
And chances are,
And if you
They've
do like
already seen
anime,
this.
then start earlier than this movie.
Okay.
Right.
Watch some TV show.
Yeah.
Watch
Watch
whatever.
something.
Watch something so you know what's
YouTube
going
or
on. Or just Google
yeah, just-
anything about the characters.
Just get on the Dragon Ball Wikipedia for 5 minutes.
Yeah, just so you have an
I don't
idea.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew what the Dragon Balls were and what they did and who it summoned.
See, I did not.
And I knew who Goku, like, I knew what his character was. Supposed to
Archetype.
be the end all be all.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It basically, the memes, but can you beat Goku? That's
Right.
that's
Right.
all I know.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna review this
and
movie.
then Broly can say any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I'm gonna review it just like me. Like I
Yeah.
just watched it. I don't know anything
Fresh,
about Dragon Ball
for
Z.
sure.
That's exactly what I did.
Right. So that's
That's fine.
how I have to go
Yeah.
about it. But
And I'm really interested to hear your take because I would think that without having you guys watch like a 30-minute or hour video or even like watch Kai, like Dragon Ball Z Kai, not even watching Dragon Ball, like his backstory, like all of that,
Right.
just watching all of Kai and then all of Super up to where we're at. I feel like this movie kind of gives you the best, like, if you're going to like Dragon Ball, then you'll know based on how you liked this movie.
right.
Right.
Kind of gives you enough backstory to where if you watch something else, you could kind of understand like the basics of Dragon Ball. You're not going to know all of the backstory and you're not going to know all of the characters per se, but you'd know enough to.
Right.
Right.
I
yeah.
can see where this movie gives you the best broad stroke of the Dragon Ball
Franchise.
universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, okay, this is the bare essentials of like, okay, this is what it's like. We're not going to give you a whole lot of information,
Right.
but this would be like your typical,
Arc.
10 episode arc. We've just squashed it down to an hour and a half.
Right.
I gotcha.
But I would say, again, if you're into anime, yes. If you're kind of on the fence on like, maybe I'd kind of like getting into anime, I would say, hey, give this a shot. If you like it, then you'll probably like Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
So
Well, I would say if you're wanting to get into anime and you're not a
diehard fan.
child,
Yeah.
if you're not a child and you want something light
You're right.
and you want something fun and you want something that doesn't take itself super serious,
Right.
this is what you want.
For sure.
But if you're like me, an almost 50-year-old guy, I'm looking for some anime that's a little darker, a little more serious.
For sure.
It's just not for me.
No.
Like that Ninja Kamui was right up my alley.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm probably thinking that this Kaiju number 8 is probably going to work too.
It's solid. Yeah.
So, but
I don't think it's as bloody as
Ninja Kamui's
Kamui.
bloody.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Kaiju has a lot of blood.
It does, but it's not like. So,
Ninja Kamui is super bloody.
can you give us a countdown for spoilers?
Go right ahead.
Let's get into some trivia. Number 1. What is Frieza's dad's name? I'm just going to say, if you want help, you can get help on 3 questions from Logan.
No way.
I know this guy's name. I just can't
Who
think
is
of
it?
Frieza's dad's name.
The guy that comes down and retires right off the bat. Says, now my son's in charge. Nothing's changing.
Is it?
And eyes.
Was it King Cold?
That's correct. Is that correct?
Good job, David.
All right.
Pulled it out
That
of
was right
nowhere.
at the beginning. Right at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I thought
Right.
that was Frieza.
Oh.
And his son was somebody else. And then Frieza comes back. I'm like, what's going on here? He's not the same. I don't know. I got lost.
Right. What planet is Broly exiled to?
Oh, man. What was the name of that dump?
Like vampire
Vampa.
That's correct.
Yep.
I knew it was vampires, like something like that.
Vampa is
Vampa.
correct.
Yeah.
We got this.
What is Broly's battle power based on the last reading?
Yeah, off the charts,
Off
right?
the unattainable.
Unreadable over 9,000 is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
correct answer.
Yeah.
So,
Just like Goku.
yeah. What do Goku and Vegeta fuse into?
Well, they fuse
An old
into
man.
Gogeta. They fuse into Gogeta.
That's correct.
Yep.
And how many Dragon Balls does it take to summon Shinron?
7.
That's also correct.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Bonus round.
Uh-oh.
How many times does Goku's hair change color, and what are the colors?
Oh, man.
Oh, hold on. I want to say 4, 5. There's black. There's yellow. There's blue. There's white. No?
No.
No?
Oh.
I thought he turned like a white, like.
It
color.
kind of hued for like a second,
Okay.
but I wouldn't say.
I guess that's all I know.
So 3?
I'm going 3.
3?
How many are there?
I think there's 3.
3? Do you know?
Yes.
How many?
He's a. Yes.
Tell me the forms.
Alright, so first there is Super Saiyan,
Mm-hmm.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
They're just making stuff up.
Right?
They're
just making me feel
They
stupid.
could be bull crapping us, and I
Right.
would just be like, okay,
Yeah, sure. This would be an elaborate prank to
right.
make us look so
This whole
foolish.
movie. Yep. So, yeah, we've got base form, which is black, and then Super Saiyan's gold. Super
Gold,
Saiyan
yeah.
God is red.
Right.
And then
And
Super
blue.
Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan blue. which is
Okay,
blue.
so blue is
Which is like Ultra Instinct.
And well, yeah, he does that in the Tournament of Power, but he hasn't been able to reattain that in this movie.
that's
But he does in the
that's
manga.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He does.
So
still,
for now,
I still don't think Ultra Instinct helps his cause against Broly.
yeah,
Because Broly never even reached the
He-
top form, did he?
he just goes.
He just
Super
has
Saiyan.
one form.
Yeah,
So
he goes
far.
Super
He has
Yeah.
base form and his super form, and his super form is bad enough to beat Goku
He went into 3 forms.
into 3
does.
forms.
Yeah.
Broly goes into
normal
3
form?
forms.
Yeah, his normal form.
Uh-huh.
Then he goes into like...
He's like a scary caveman in his normal
No,
form.
he goes into like grade 8, but he's not in his grade 8 form.
Okay.
Then
okay.
he goes Super Saiyan.
Yep, he goes legendary Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
correct.
Super Saiyan.
Was it?
Yep.
Was that when he was like green?
That's
and-
when he was green and
Okay,
his hair
yeah.
was all
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
okay.
So
He was the Hulk.
yeah,
So the entire time I was like, this is like the Hulk fighting the Hulk.
Right.
yeah,
That's what I get. I'm like, they're punching each other through mountains.
Yeah.
yeah.
What can hurt them?
Exactly. Exactly. That's what, like, this is like,
And then I figured out that they're hurt when they're clothes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, now he's hurt.
Now
'Cause
it's
his
done.
Clothes are tearing, but his clothes don't tear
I want some-
otherwise.
I want some fabric that can withstand getting
You need
thrown
to.
through a,
you need
through a mountain.
Kryptonian fabric.
I guess.
That's my...
Don't let the Dragon Ball Z people hear you say that because they'll come at you.
I
Because
mean, I'm not
Superman's
talking crap.
Superman's
No.
nothing compared to Goku.
Well, sure.
Oh, don't let the DC fans hear you say that.
And listen, I don't know.
One
anything
Punch
about it,
Man.
Yeah, One Punch Man rules
Come
them
at
all.
me, bro.
Yes.
Yep, he's like the strongest out of every single anime character.
Yeah.
You ever heard of that guy?
Nope.
One Punch Man.
Nope.
He defeats all of his opponents in
One punch.
one punch.
So Mike Tyson got it.
And he's a little bald.
Bald
Looks like he's
dude.
about 12-year-old.
Yep.
Oh,
Wears
wow.
a yellow
What's
suit
he
and
on?
cape. One
One
Punch,
Punch
Man.
Man.
Just One Punch Man.
Yep.
And
so-
his actual name is Saitama.
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 Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's
Continue.
get into our long
we
form
at?
discussion. Yeah. Let's get into our long form, not so long form discussion.
Oh.
So this kind of gives you, from a Dragon Ball fan's perspective, it kind of gives you a cool backstory on Broly's back.
Did you guys have this backstory before the movie? Like in
so
the comics?
we had like in the manga and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. You had little snippets, and some of them weren't canon, and some of them were canon.
Okay.
But this kind of just put everything.
So I will tell
together.
you, the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie
Right.
where all this is happening, I was very confused because I
Oh,
thought
right.
Dragon Ball was something completely different. So
right.
I was like, this is dark.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like this is not
Right.
what I thought Dragon Ball was. And then when they get to it's not Earth, is it?
It is
Is it
Earth,
Earth?
yeah.
When they get there, I'm like, okay,
We're good.
now this is
This
Dragon Ball.
makes
we're-
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
So yeah, we get this really cool scene with, at this point, King Cold's forces moving in, and he's basically saying, "Hey, Saiyan race, we're on planet Vegeta. This is my son. He's now the emperor of my."
Do we know
my
how
force."
old he is?
Frieza? No,
He's young.
he is
little.
very young. Yes.
Yeah, he's very. What's his name from Game of Thrones?
Joffrey.
Joffrey.
Yeah.
Like, he's
oh
young.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very very much so.
Yeah.
And just as ruthless. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He displays some power, and they hand out these things called scouters. Which, did you guys have any questions on that? It's basically
little
just like,
eyepiece?
yeah, the little eyepiece, and just kind of reads in and like, oh, you're this strong.
Right.
So yeah,
And it couldn't even read Goku's or Broly's or Vegeta's.
It'd be nice to have to go to the bar.
yeah.
Yeah. Can I whoop this guy?
Can I do that?
Oh, I got you, pal.
Nope.
I got you.
We're good.
You don't want to mess with Broly in a bar.
I don't want to mess
No.
with Broly ever.
Ever.
No.
Anywhere.
The bar?
For any reason.
I'd be
You know
mush.
Right.
He almost killed somebody in the bar.
He
really?
did?
Yeah,
When?
on the ship.
Oh yeah, that's right. In the cafeteria.
He almost killed somebody.
Yep, we'll get to that.
That's crazy.
So King Vegeta's going through, and he sees his son Vegeta in the incubation pod, and then they notice that there's this
Broly's
other
there.
person, Broly,
And
is inhabiting that. He gets really upset, and they're like, "No,
What's this lowborn doing up here with my son?
exactly."
Can't have it.
And then they're like, "But sir,
It's power
his
level.
power level is way too off the charts." That pisses off
Gotta
King
have him
Vegeta, and we're going to exile.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
Banished.
So then
Sends
he
him and his
puts,
dad,
like,
right?
No, he
Puts
sends.
on this scouter on his capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Then it breaks because of his power level because it upsetted him.
Yeah, the power level is so
Oh, yeah,
high
yeah.
that it blew up the.
The unit.
Yeah.
So then they had to calm him down.
Mm-hmm. So then King Vegeta, sitting on his throne, his Broly's father, Paragus,
Paragus.
comes in. Where the heck's my son? Nope, too late. We already sent him off on the ship. Paragus is obviously upset that his son's being exiled. So he flies off, gets into one of the Saiyan capsule pods, and chases after him with one of the other Saiyans that I'm presuming is one of the pilots.
Was that guy of any importance whatsoever ever
No.
again?
Paragus?
No, the guy in the ship with him.
Oh, I
No.
mean, just to show...
He's a red shirt.
Yeah. Yep.
Because
Yep.
did he even die?
He
Yeah.
did.
Oh yeah, he killed him right off
Yes.
the bat.
Paragus, yeah.
He said that'll for food.
Yeah.
Rations.
That's right.
He
killed him
said
right
there's
off the bat.
one way to preserve food.
That's right.
And took him out. And we get a kind of a cool scene. They're trying to track down Broly. He's been on the planet Vampa for 2 days, and he's escaped his pod, and there's just a havoc of
Line of
dead
bodies.
animals. Yeah, trailed throughout. They follow that, and they say, well, Broly must have transformed into a great ape by looking at the moon and killed all of these monsters, and so he's just chowing down on some...
I didn't know that was a thing.
Monster.
Right.
I didn't either.
I will say this, that there's a direct, I think, semblance between the Saiyan race and the Viltrumites from Invincible.
Yes.
Like, the Saiyans conquer world, Viltrumites are basically doing the same thing in that, and I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, Saiyans are basically just doing it to conquer worlds for themselves, and then they started doing it for Frieza.
But then they couldn't anymore because Frieza blew up.
Yep,
the
and that's
planet.
our
We'll get
next
to
scene.
You get to see Bardock, which is Goku's father
Mm-hmm.
and his mom.
Yep, and it's the
Sending
first time
him
we
off.
see them.
And he said that all of them can't go. Then they'd use their scouters to track them down.
Yeah.
So they had to send him to Earth because they have low power levels.
Yep, they sent Goku to Earth, so
No.
Vegeta's off on another planet with Goku's brother,
Evil brother.
Raditz.
Raditz, that's right.
So we get this fun scene of Frieza coming out and just obliterating Planet Vegeta. All of the Saiyans on that planet. Goku's the last one to escape
And
on a
Broly.
pod.
Well, Broly's on
Broly's on.
Vampa.
But Raditz is dead.
Well, Raditz is not dead in the movie, but later on in Dragon Ball Z, he meets his brother. But
Then
that's for another.
Piccolo used the special beam cannon to kill him.
Yep,
and
him and
Goku.
Goku. Yep. Spoilers for Dragon Ball Z. Sorry about that, David.
I think it's okay.
Okay,
Okay.
good. I didn't want to run around.
No, I
for
think
you,
I'm
so.
okay.
So anyway, we get kind of a cool scene where it flash forwards through all of Goku's adventures all the way up until this point.
Like 40 years, right?
Yeah, basically. Goku and Vegeta are practicing their fighting
Out in the ocean.
out in the ocean, and you get
Oh, and everybody
Full
can fly.
balancing.
Everybody can fly, by the way.
not
They
everybody
just-
can,
well,
but Saiyans can. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. All the Saiyans can fly for
That's
some
fun.
reason. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Even the half Saiyans
The
and
half
quarter
Saiyans can.
Saiyans.
They just float like a little off the ground.
Yeah,
You can fly, but only
Also-
5 feet.
Only
off the
5 feet. What a
Right.
nightmare that would be.
it'd be awful.
ground. Your legs wouldn't get tired.
That's like a genie wish. I want to fly. Okay, 1 foot off the
you
ground,
go.
no higher.
You didn't specify. Sorry.
So
Oh, that works.
Do you remember in Dragon Ball Z where Goten and Trunks went Super Saiyan?
yeah, and they were little kids your age.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
Actually, older than me.
yeah, by like a couple years.
I like
No,
this.
like 10.
It's a guest that actively tries to tangent
Right.
Right? Right?
right into our wheelhouse.
If only you knew what he was talking about.
Right? If only I could follow along.
They're fighting. We get introduced to two of our main characters, Goku and Vegeta, and they're practicing, and then they realize that somebody stole 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls that were being held at Bulma's place at
Awesome.
Capsule Corp.
And do you know who told them who?
I don't remember. Who was it?
Trunks
It was Trunks.
and Goten.
And who's Trunks?
Vegeta's son.
Yep, and who's Goten?
He's a quarter Saiyan.
Okay, but who's his dad?
Goku.
That's right.
Goku, Father of the Year, I hear.
Yeah. No,
Not so much.
not so much. Piccolo. Piccolo's probably the closest father that most of these kids have.
Right.
Actually,
The green guy.
Actually,
Yeah. Piccolo, the green guy that shows up towards the end.
Wait, is that the god?
No, that's
Oh.
the cat looking dude.
Nope.
He's a
The
destroyer
Beerus.
god.
The god is he's the
That's
like an
Beerus.
Egyptian god, right?
And so him and
Wait, Goku has kids?
yes,
Yep.
Yeah.
he does. He has.
I
But
thought he was like a
Piccolo's
teenager.
more of a
Well, he's
father.
like 40 something
Yeah.
when
Well, I didn't know if they age differently.
Right.
They can fly.
They aged slower.
Okay.
they're
So,
slower,
all right.
but they still mature.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're fighting over the
They're
ocean.
fighting over the ocean. They realize the Dragon Balls are gone. We cut over to Frieza's men are the ones that infiltrated, and
I like them too.
Yeah,
I like
cool.
the 3 characters.
Frieza, they're asking, well, what are you going to wish for when you get all these Dragon Balls?
This is where I kind of had a problem.
And he said, well, you wish for immortality, you could wish to never be hurt again. And Frieza's like, that'd make
take
things
damage.
too easy.
Then this other person in there was like, you're gonna wish to grow taller
Yep. How much taller?
by 5 centimeters.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want it to look too obvious, right?
Yep. That he's
Just growing.
he's still growing. So,
No, he wanted
Yeah.
to look like he was still growing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's
And-
a terrible wish.
Well, I mean, I give him
Frieza, yeah,
him props for not like going easy and
Right.
saying, just make me the most powerful creature,
Right. Which, I mean,
Somewhere in the manga,
I don't
actually,
get it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, why
But
not
if you're
just,
someone that
I
already
got the
has
Dragon Balls-
everything,
So much power.
If I got
so
the
much
Dragon
power,
Balls-
so much money, so many resources,
which is basically
and they're
Vegeta.
short,
Right.
Because he's really short. Like standing
Yeah.
next to the rest of them, he's like a little guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But still.
that's
I'm
even
not-
his
listen,
final form.
Apparently you
so.
can't choose your forms.
What?
Apparently you can't choose your forms.
No,
That's dumb.
I'm not defending his.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making sure.
I'm
What
not,
about
no.
what about Bulma's? Because Bulma was doing it just to age 5 years younger.
It's
not
all
10 or
stupid.
something,
That's
so,
stupid.
Yeah.
Wish for something good.
Don't waste
Well, she's
don't waste
again.
my time.
She's already like a
How many wishes have there been in Dragon Ball? Like a lot.
a lot. Most of them are to
Are
bring.
there only 7 of the balls, so they have to
Yeah.
go find
Yes.
them in the universe?
Yes,
and
but
then-
now that, and I know this is a little further down the road, but Goku can do his instant transmission and he just knows where they're at. They can
no,
just
they
they
have
can
to
just
use a
track
scouter,
them.
but yeah.
They can just
Yep.
track them
And
with
he
a
can just
scanner.
go get
He
'em.
can just like, okay, we know where it is. I'm there.
But it can't work if they're too far away.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get close enough, he can just teleport to where he's going and get him,
And-
and I've got them all now.
Well, yeah, he could
Make another
teleport
wish.
halfway across the universe, see if he can figure out where it's at, and then
Oh
teleport
well,
there. And then
they're only localized to Earth. So Earth has its own set of Dragon Balls, and then like Namek, which is a planet that
every planet has their own Dragon Balls.
not quite, not
Yeah.
quite.
Just the
That-
chosen ones.
That dragon's busy, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, there's each set of Dragon Balls have their own
Dragon.
like,
Dragon.
dragon.
So they're just like hanging out, or just waiting for someone to find these
Yep.
balls. That's
Yep.
boring.
He's always pissed off, dude. Like
he is always pissed off
because he's
huh?
like, man, who woke
Who
me
woke
up from
me
my
up
sleep?
now?
Yeah, I just want to
Leave
sleep.
me alone.
I'm gonna
just
be
wanna
5
sleep.
centimeters taller.
And you know what? Think about it.
You
from-
woke me up for 5 centimeters. I've heard that
That's
before.
what she said.
Why are you laughing, Logan?
That's funny. We both were like, it's too easy.
So anyway, we get introduced Chi-Lai and Limo, which are two
Bounty hunters or whatever.
are two people that are part of
The
throughout.
Frieza Force.
And
not
yeah, not the race.
technically all the other people in the Frieza Force.
Yeah, they're not like soldiers.
Yeah, they're not like
specialized.
soldiers. They're specialized, and they're basically just going through the galaxy trying to find people with strong enough battle power.
And then they were left
They
with
kind of-
Vampa.
Yep, they find Vampa, and then they find
Broly.
Broly, and they find Paragus.
No, they find the broken ship. Then they see Paragus, which is way older than he was.
Well, it's been 40
Some times
years.
past.
He's
We
old
get a
now.
cool introduction from with Broly coming in and saving the day of big monsters coming at Paragus and Chi-Lai and Limo.
Paragus just yells, Broly!
Yep, that's right. That's how he gets him.
I like
is
Broly's
dead.
character.
I do too. Broly's awesome.
Broly's the man.
So they take Chi-Lai and Limo, take Broly and them back to Frieza Force headquarters, and they introduce to Frieza. And Frieza, it's like, oh, Saiyans, okay, cool.
Oh, look at this
maybe
guy.
I can use these guys to defeat them.
Then Paragus just has to say that Broly can...
Be controlled
Yeah.
with the remote.
He says that after Frieza says, you brought danger to my ship.
Yeah, that's right. He does.
Yes, but I
Because-
can control him.
But
with
I
the
can
collar.
control him with the collar. So Broly's on a shot collar because he can get too powerful.
How
And he
much
tried-
would
and
that
after
have
that-
to hurt?
Yeah.
No kidding.
To hurt this
Why
guy.
wouldn't it just make him matter to where you're
Right?
like, yeah.
Just goes
don't know.
full on banner on you?
I'm done. There's not a whole lot to the movie. I mean, we get introduced to quite a few characters, most of whom we already know
Right.
as Dragon Ball fans.
Sure.
So Frieza goes down with Broly and Paragus, and they are going to Antarctica to get the last Dragon Ball.
Right.
They introduced to Goku and Vegeta, and they're pretty excited. Goku's at least excited because it's 2 new Saiyans, and then, it's part of the race that's basically extinct at this point.
Yeah.
I love that one point where he was playing in the snow. He was just like...
Yeah, that's right. That's funny.
I love that.
Earlier on, though, we get a scene where Broly and Chilai and Paragus and Limo are in, like, diner area. Mm-hmm. And Broly starts getting involved because somebody's hitting on Chilai, and she's not liking that at all.
Right.
Broly gets a little territorial, goes up. Paragus is like, no, you ain't getting involved. Broly does it anyway. Paragus zaps him, and it looks extremely painful.
Yeah.
So Chilai, whenever she goes up and confronts Paragus, she slips the remote control for Broly out of his pocket
Then she smashes it.
when Paragus leaves.
Not good.
Not
a
good at all. So when we get introduced with Paragus and Broly and Vegeta are all landing down on Earth, Antarctica.
You forgot one scene.
What's that?
You forgot when Sheila introduced Broly to clean water and fresh food.
Oh yeah, Broly had never had clean
Yeah,
water.
because he's
or fresh
like on
food.
like a green
monster diet.
Swamp planet.
swamp planet.
Yeah.
Desert swamp planet.
Right.
Yeah, it's really weird.
So we get a nice scene where Broly's kind of like, oh, he's basically Tarzan being reintroduced world.
And what was the creature called that he loved? It was like the giant swamp creature cat thing that was furry. Ba.
Bah.
He had like the fur.
the ear from Ba, yeah. And
Didn't his dad make him kill him?
the
No.
dad shot the ear off, and
okay.
it was the only friend Broly had.
Right.
And so he
Hey,
kept...
that's important for
It
the
is.
end, right?
Kind
that
of,
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he keeps the ear of Ba on him.
That stinks. Yeah.
But it reminds him of the only friend that Broly's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
A little bit.
He's not the dad of the year either.
Definitely not.
No.
Pretty cool. Paragus recognizes Vegeta. Vegeta's dad exiled them to Vampa for 40 years, so I imagine that he's pretty pissed off at Vegeta. So Broly, get a cool fight scene between Broly and Vegeta. They start going head to head and base form for both of them. And then Vegeta starts transforming more and more so, all the way up to Super Saiyan God, which is red hair.
He just
and Broly is still in base form, and he's just...
Whooping him.
Whoop.
Well, I wouldn't say whooping Vegeta, but they are definitely still going blow for blow on a very equal playing field, and it's insane. Vegeta gets kind of pissed off. He throws him in the water, and he's like, I'm just done playing around with this guy. And Goku's
Super
like...
Saiyan God.
He does. Fires energy blasts at him, and Goku gets a little jealous. He's like, no, I want some
my
fight
turn.
time.
It's
I
my
want some
turn."
fight time, which is typical Goku. I mean,
Right.
for me, one of the funniest parts is that Vegeta just, through all of these transitions, making him more and more powerful. And Goku's like, no, I just want to fight him in my base form. And then, I'll take it from there, even though Broly's pissed.
Right.
Broly's basically just like a mindless rage monster. Right.
Gotcha.
So
He has potential, though, doesn't
he
he?
does. Yeah, very much so. And he's learning while he's fighting, and,
Right.
they comment on that.
So these fight scenes, here's my only complaint.
Okay.
The amount of times they scream.
Yes.
It's like 45 times.
Yeah.
But I kept saying I don't understand what's going on. Like, are they? I thought
They're
they powered,
powering up.
I know, but I thought they
Yeah.
powered up way more than that because they just kept doing it. So I'm
Right.
like, I mean, are they just getting more and more?
It was basically just Goku that was screaming, because
No, they were all
No,
doing
Broly
it.
was doing it
They
too.
were all screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
That's my only complaint.
We did
It was
miss an important. Frieza just kind of gets fed up.
Yeah.
Because he sees that this Broly kid's for real, and he's probably just going to do it anyway.
Right.
Probably doesn't want any piece of Broly at this point.
No, absolutely not.
Don't blame him.
Well, Broly's still in his base form, and
Yeah.
Broly and Paragus have never seen a Super Saiyan before. They've never seen any of these transformations,
Right.
and so they're surprised
they
by
all thought it was a legend.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
But Broly's holding his own in his regular form.
regular
Yeah, in
form.
his
And they
base
even
form.
say he didn't know
Do
anything
any of
about
that.
this. Yeah.
Right.
And Andy's holding up. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and Frieza's kind of like, oh, he doesn't transform? That's a pity. We'll see how long he lasts.
Right.
So,
What's the point of fighting him? If he
They're
doesn't
definitely
transform?
arrogant. That's for
oh,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Frieza's very much so. That's his character 100%.
Yeah.
And he's basically just wanting somebody else because, Goku has Vegeta and all of these other Z fighters, people in his group that would fight off. And
The Ginyu
I think,
Force.
yeah, well, not anymore. Anyway, so
Every time they turn around, he's bringing something else out.
I know, man.
And Calvin's like, no, not yet.
Not yet, buddy.
And
Well, that happened back in
he
Z,
knows
so.
exactly where it is and how it fits into the story. And he's like, no, it doesn't fit.
Anyway, Goku starts fighting Broly
Through mountains.
through everything, and we're getting some, I think, kind of cool scenes where it's taking perspective from Broly, where he's
I
just going
did
through
like
and
that.
boom, boom, and
The first person stuff was pretty neat.
it was
I
really
like, that's
cool. And they were
pretty
like
cool.
punching, like
Yeah.
you said, through mountains and everything like that. And then
down into lava,
lava
tunnels
and
yeah.
it gets craziness, and Goku's trying to hold his own, and he's just getting whooped on. And man, that scene where Goku is screaming and Broly has his face against like an ice mountain,
Yeah,
and he's
he's
just
just
dragging
dragging
him
it.
through.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. And then he does the Hulk thing where he grabs Goku by the leg and he's just slapping him
This is when his
everywhere.
clothes get tore up.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
The
he's
back
just
and forth.
done.
Yeah.
That's when
Instant transmissions out.
The only thing that
Good.
Goku could do is his
Little beam.
Kamehameha wave.
No, where he stops him.
Oh yeah, where he stops the Broly from hitting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get kind of a resp bit where Goku's laying on the ground and he's, telepathically talking with Piccolo, and Piccolo's like, hey, everything cool? I'm sensing a lot of power down there in the Antarctic. And it's like, oh, well,
It's not
yeah,
just
you might
Frieza
be.
you're sensing, and
And
we do not know the name of him.
Piccolo's on standby, get a couple sensu beans ready just in case.
Yeah.
And-
sensu beans, we had no
And
idea what they were.
Goku asked if he has any sensu beans, and he's just like,
nope, fresh
Nope.
out.
It heals wounds.
Yeah,
It-
we find that out
At
at
the
the
end
end
of
of
the
the
movie.
show.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is something we could have known about before.
Before.
Oh, yeah, you gotta
Right.
read the mangas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
you gotta watch the other shows.
It's probably one of the funniest scenes is Goku realizes that even in his Super Saiyan Blue form that I ain't gonna cut it.
Nope, not with
the-
Broly.
Well, before this scene though, Goku transforms into blue, and then he starts whooping up on Broly, and Broly's pissed, but he's not super pissed yet.
Yeah.
And
not like that enough
not
to
mad
where,
enough. Yeah.
not mad enough to where he
To go
changed the filter of the background. He's not that mad yet.
He's not that mad yet.
Yeah.
And Frieza remembers back to the first time Goku went Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z, which is when Goku was on the ground and he was done.
He lifted up
Krillin and blew him up in midair, and it made Goku so mad
They
and
went
concentrated all of
Super
his
Saiyan.
anger that he went Super Saiyan. So Frieza has that in the back of mind and says, a stray energy blast came over and killed your dad, Broly, and he's dead, when it was actually Frieza that killed Paragus,
Yeah, trying to motivate him.
trying
Right.
to motivate him to go Super Saiyan, which
It
in
worked.
fact it does. And every
Then he
time there's a
gets
new
ne-
transformation in Dragon Ball, it's really cool because it's like water is being moved out of the way, and like the earth you can see is just focused on this one point where everything's just kind of colliding into
Just
this
like-
one section.
Right.
Just
So-
like Cell when he went perfect.
Yep, that too. That's for another time too, baby.
Another reference. We're
Another
never gonna
reference
get.
to Z. Yep. We get a really funny scene. Goku grabs Vegeta to instant transmission over to Piccolo, and they say, hey, have fun, Frieza. And you just see Frieza, and he's confused and like, what the hell's going on? And then Broly's just there, absolutely mad, and then throws a punch. So we get a lot of fan service at this point between Goku and Vegeta, where,
You just reminded me of Golden Squidward.
yeah, buddy. That's not Dragon Ball. That's just meme.
All right.
Memes. So, yeah.
Sure.
So fan service.
So fan service being that Goku and Vegeta do the fusion dance, and
Yeah.
they combined into one being of
And
Gogeta.
Vegeta hates it.
Yep, Vegeta
It's beneath him.
How many? It takes him like 3 or 4 times, doesn't it?
takes
It's
him 2
30
times.
minutes.
Yeah.
Right, but
So it takes him about an hour. So yeah, it takes him 3 times to.
To get it right.
It's the old man, then it's the fat one, then perfect.
I think it's the opposite, but yeah, it's
I think
basically how
it's
it
a
works.
fat man. Yeah, the old man was the second. Yeah,
Second, so they play that for laughs, and then we get fan service Gogeta and
Gogeta.
He's a real go-getter.
yeah. Hey, we're just saying,
That's right.
Gogeta goes back, a spectacular fight, probably the best of the entire show, which of course it's going to be.
Right.
Not only are they punching through like lava and all this other stuff, they literally are shattering reality whenever they're
Yeah.
fighting in some crazy
purple.
Once they
subspace. Yeah.
Once they punched, like,
Yep, they punched each other in the face.
and then
Logan just punched me in
He
the
did.
nose.
You just missed it. It was great. He just slowly reached over and punched you in the face.
I want to gonna hit you in the face.
Fantastic fight scene in my opinion. We end the fight with Chi-Lai and Limo. While Frieza's distracted. They take the Dragon Balls. They summon Shenron. Go ahead.
They wish for Broly to go back to Vampa.
And for the thing to be alive, right? Don't they wish that to be back alive?
No.
Maybe that was me saying, hey, maybe you should wish for that.
Yeah, for Paragus to be back alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
The dad.
or his friend on the Baja.
I think Ba is still alive.
Okay.
I think it's just...
Or just his dad to be back alive. Like,
Right.
we're going to waste the one wish on...
That guy was kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right before Goku and Vegeta finish Broly off with their Kamehameha Gallic Gun, which is their special move
And then
combo,
they
he disappears.
Wait, what if it was like Kill and...
Kefla.
Yeah, when they did...
You
we
guys
saw
know
that
this, right?
trailer for
Sure.
Sparkling Zero, then they combined it.
Sparkling Zero.
It's the new Dragon Ball.
New Dragon Ball
Zero.
refreshment.
Yeah.
And they combined their Kamehameha
Yeah, that was cool.
What?
in the trailer.
What's a Kahami what?
Kahame-
Basically a
Kamehameha.
Hadouken.
Yeah, so in Dragon Ball, it's like before anybody does any move whatsoever, then you have to name your move.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So this is Kamehameha Wave, which is Goku's
Your
special...
energy wave.
It was
attack.
also
Gotcha.
in Dragon Ball.
Yep, that's right.
That's how.
I still don't think
Far back
their
it goes.
souped up little fancy beam was going to
Do
get
anything
the job
to him?
done.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No.
But I think it would just prolonged the fight and made
So,
it matter.
so Broly disappears. Goes
Broly
back
disappears,
to Vampa.
goes back to Vampa. Chi-Lai and Limo take one of
Get the
Frieza's
heck
ships.
out. Yeah.
And go with them.
Frieza's about to shoot down the ship. Gogeta pops up and is like, yeah, you're not going to do that.
Right.
And Frieza's like, all right. And then realizes with the new transformation, there's no way in hell that he's going to try and fight both of them comboed.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I kind of
I'm a
like
dip.
their
He talks about.
relationship in this because they fought so many times in the past, right?
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah.
it's like
We could
they're
fight,
like
but you
they're
know
like
what's gonna
old
happen.
they're like
Right.
old friends. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they
Yeah.
just mess
like-
with each other.
It's like Magneto and Professor X.
Right,
Right.
I don't know any of their past, so
Right.
like I took it as Frieza being that
Professional enemies.
that enemy like Crane from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Right.
Like always dipping, like
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm out of here. You know what I mean?
I'm good.
Right.
I ain't got this.
Cool scene at the end. Goku
and
appears
takes
onto
some magic
Vampa
beans.
and takes some capsules. They gives him plenty of food for Chi-Lai and Limo and Broly to live comfortably. And then he's like, hey, I know that you guys don't trust me. You guys don't know me at all. To me, I'm just an enemy. But anytime I'd love to train with Broly. And again, that's fandom where it's like, yeah,
Right.
exciting. So
That's how you
Chi-Lai's
raise
just
your power level, man. You
Right,
gotta
you gotta
train.
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 Gotta train
And
with
if
somebody
you
better
train,
than you.
yeah, you have to.
Then
So-
Sheila's just like, what's your name? Then he was like,
You can,
Broly, you can call me Kakarot.
which I don't understand why we're calling him that.
Yeah.
That's
So
his
this is
Saiyan name.
What's Goku then?
His
Goku's
normal
his
name.
normal name.
So
Yeah.
he's Goku
So he's saying
Kakarot?
he's basically saying like, hey, since you're a Saiyan just same as me, then you can call me by my Saiyan name. But everybody else, you
Calls
guys
me
call me Goku.
I gotcha.
So that's the end of Dragon Ball
Yeah.
Super Broly.
Yeah.
Logan picked it because this is my birthday week.
He loves Dragon Ball.
I do love Dragon
That
Ball.
he does.
And I,
Nobody's perfect.
Logan's been begging to be on the podcast, and I really wanted to do that.
Well, it's been fun.
So what do you think, Logan? Since you were our guest, we have a rating system of S through... Hold on, baby.
Hey, I
have-
already know.
I love
We have
it so much.
a rating system of 2 thumbs up. We have A being thumbs up. We have B being, it was okay. We have C being,
I already know that you told me at the.
Well, he's telling.
I know,
He's
I'm
telling the audience,
baby.
the people that listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody else in the
There's
podcast.
a few people out there still.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a few.
Just a few.
So C is meh. D is,
Not so great.
and then F is,
Totally terrible.
Remember when you did?
we were going to do them, yeah. We're still planning on that.
No, we did.
We had plenty
Basically,
of that
all
with
of
the
them
raid.
is gonna be a
Yeah, we had
D
plenty of
or
that
an
with the
F.
raid.
Yeah.
You know what he's thinking?
This podcast is bullshit.
For sure. So with that being said, Logan, you're going to give it an A?
Yes,
Yes.
An A.
Okay. Why an A? Why not an S?
because
Because why?
Do you think
There's
it could have
any
been better?
Gohan.
Do you think it could have been better in any way?
yes,
How so?
How so?
if Gohan was there.
Been better.
Gohan,
That's a good
Gohan's
answer.
his favorite
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
Calvin?
Let me tell you, this movie, there's a lot of history with this movie for me. Sure. A lot of stuff building up. And whenever I saw this Dragon Ball Super had been done, this movie makes me feel like a little kid again. Going back, seeing my favorite characters, seeing new stories, new additions, everything to this universe, and it makes me happy. I will always be a Dragon Ball fan, and I feel like particularly this is one of the best movies that they've ever come out with for Dragon Ball as a franchise. I mean, I really loved Superhero, and that was great. I was able to go see that with Logan.
And we were the only people there.
We were the only people there. So it's one of those things where this movie holds a special place for me.
I gotcha.
So with that, all that being said, I'm going to give it an A.
Okay.
I can see the criticisms. I can see why I wouldn't give it.
You don't have to defend your grade.
Yeah, you
Seriously.
you don't have to defend it to us.
But what
That's
I'm
for sure.
saying is the reason that it's not an S is because I loved like all of the backstory story that we get with like everything going on with Broly. I loved seeing Bardock and Goku's mom for the very first time. This is the first time that his mom was ever even shown for anything. You know what I'm saying? I loved the little interaction with Vegeta and Raditz and all this stuff. So
they do get to tell you that.
we do get that, yeah. And the last 40 minutes of the movie is just purely fighting, which don't get me wrong, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for these big fights, but a little bit more here and there sprinkled throughout, I think, is the reason why this movie is not higher for me.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Our non-anime, non-Dragon Ball people.
So here's my suggestion with this movie is that, like I said before, if you had any kind of background story. So if it was the first Dragon Ball movie they came out with, like canon movie?
They've come out with others, but this is the first canon movie.
So my suggestion would be to spend 10 minutes and give background on what's happened in the past, where we're coming from, who he is, who they all are.
Right.
I know that like the fans go and see it and they already know.
Right.
But like, why make a movie to where there's not just 10 minutes of just, this is what happened in the Dragon Ball universe?
From my understanding, though, this movie kind of takes place across a couple of timelines.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But
like
I'm just
the
saying,
Dragon
like,
Ball,
who
like
is Grogu? What are the Dragon Balls?
Goku, right.
Goku. That's what.
Goku.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right.
Right.
So, but that's what I'm saying is why not?
Kakarot.
Why not have any
So
any kind of explanation
like
on what it all is?
first season of Dragon Ball is Goku showing up on Earth, right? Mm-hmm. So that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
He gets sent to Earth. So it is telling you what happens
backstory
before Dragon Ball.
But then nothing in between.
Right.
You get like a 20-second scene of him just going throughout.
It's really not enough. It's just not
I
enough.
agree.
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
And the fight scene at the end was just like, it's a lot. And because I don't know their different powers, I didn't know their different. So I'm like, well, I don't know what's happening. They just keep getting bigger and like stronger and crazier. And I didn't hate it. It piqued my interest. You know what I mean? I'm like, what is happening with this movie? I have to go B- on it.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
And I've always said C's are like, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
I got you.
I'm going B-.
All right. My whole problem with the entire Dragon Ball universe right now is I don't know anything about it.
Right.
I have no scale. I have no reference points. Why is Goku the ultimate? Why is his power level off the charts? Where do you get your power levels from? Where does all this come from? Why are Saiyans so strong? Why is Frieza so powerful? You know, what makes them who they are? It's like I have no scale.
Yeah.
Like you should show me, okay, so here's a villain who's really badass and he's done all this stuff and you think he's really badass and then he goes and fights Goku and Goku's like, you're not anything. I will wipe the floor with you.
Right.
And we don't get any of that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just supposed to know it. And same way with Broly. Like, okay, well, it's a reference point. Well, Goku's power is this and Broly's is the same. I go, but I have no reference for any of it.
I feel like I was just thrown into the middle of a season of a TV show that was a long episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I was like, I don't know what's happening. You know, like,
I like the characters. I like the
Me too.
the world building that they do. It's a little much because there's so many characters. There's so much
Agreed.
going on. And I know there's references there that I'm missing.
But I will tell you,
I don't know them.
It's an anime, and I cared about some of the characters. Like I liked them. I was like, I like Broly.
I like
Yeah,
Broly.
it's cool.
I did like Broly.
I like the
because-
two that helped Broly. Like I
Yeah.
like them. You know.
I like now that when I hear somebody going on a rant, oh, Goku, oh, can you beat Goku? And I'll be like, Broly did
Right.
Yeah.
any day of the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Say something.
Now you can say something.
Yeah.
So what do you give it?
I give it a C+.
Okay.
I'm not going to watch it again because to me, and no offense, this is not made for me. This is made for Logan. And Logan clearly enjoys it. And I'm super happy that you do.
So true.
I don't care for it because to me, it's like every other non-serious toned anime has ever been.
Yeah.
It's the same voice acting. It's the same dialogues. It's the same tropes over and over and over again. And I've moved past all that.
Yeah.
I got you.
If you're into anime and any Dragon Ball, anything at all, I'm sure you're going to love it. Because, again, it wasn't terrible. I got through it. Now, I did stop at minute 48 to see how much longer I had.
I did
was like,
as well.
53 more
I was like,
minutes.
oh my God, there's so much more.
Yeah, right.
There's so much more, and I still don't know what's
But I will
going
say the
on.
battle scene, I watched, I was just like, holy crap.
Oh,
Yeah, they're getting after it.
Oh,
So overall, what do we say?
So you said A,
A,
B,
B minus.
B minus,
C
C plus,
minus.
You did C minus?
I think B plus.
B plus,
I'd be all right with B plus.
B plus.
B plus.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll give you
Awesome.
B plus.
Well, thank
Logan,
you guys.
thanks for coming,
Thanks for
man.
coming.
Thank you
buddy.
so much for coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah,
You did a great job.
You did a
Yeah.
great job. Your
Appreciate it.
knowledge
Sure.
of Dragon Ball is,
Far beyond mine.
it's going to be the same.
It gives it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
All right,
Awesome.
buddy.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Oi, oi.
Hello and welcome to Postcast. I wanted to say thank you to all our loyal and new listeners. We just hit the 250 sub mark on YouTube. Thank you so much for helping us and supporting us on this journey. We invite you all to check out our Facebook group or check out our Reddit sub. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, and tell us what you think the movie should be rated or what movie we should record next. Follow us wherever podcasts are found. Look for our next episode, Monday, July 17th, as we review Twister. We hope you've enjoyed our program just as much as we did recording for you. Thank you, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Actually, Logan, the podcast is called Movies with Chill.
Next time on Movies with Chill. We're going to be reviewing a movie you've never heard of.
Actually, I think people have watched Twister.
It's called Twister. It's about tornadoes. And then after that, we're going to be reviewing me.
Actually, the movie's called Logan. It's not called me.
I am Logan.